And this is a conversation with Greg Widmar. The reason for this interview, and we talked about this a little bit on the phone before I came down, a couple of years ago, I lost 4 friends in motorcycle accidents. I was at that point 2 years ago where I was exposed to death, 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 more death. And I was really having an existential crisis as a motorcycle instructor. And I was at the point whereby I didn't want to do this anymore. I was like, what's the point, right? Everybody's getting killed. I'm not having an impact on the world. I'm not saving lives. All of a sudden, now I'm in this family of instructors, in this group of people, surrounded by motorcyclists, training motorcyclists, and now I'm confronted with motorcyclists getting killed. You were on my list of friends to call, and I called you, and you had a profound impact on me not quitting. And you spent 2 hours on the phone with me talking about life, the universe, and everything. Personal philosophy of life. And I know you were a Marine. And what I think I'm interested in asking you and talking to you about, and having your YouTube subscribers understand a little bit more about who you are as a person, is you're just not just a motorcycle instructor. You're just not just a guy who knows how to ride a bike really well or even instruct people. So delving into that a little bit deeper by saying, who are you, man?
Well, most people know me from obviously just motorcycling world.
Right. Where did you get what you know and what you helped me with?
Well, so grew up in Wisconsin.
Right.
Completely poor. Mother's schizophrenic. No food, no clothes.
Okay.
Didn't wash my hands. Didn't brush my teeth. Nothing. Almost failed every grade because I'm an idiot and I don't know anything and not forcing to go to school.
Right.
On my own since I was 13.
No parental involvement in raising you?
Well, my dad was around, awesome, but just not there a lot. Then just living with buddies in their basements or whatever else. Then I joined the Marines. Get out of here. Go do something different. Join the Marines.
17?
Yep. Well, no. So I was 19. Because the day after I graduated high school at 17, the day after I started working with my buddy's dad, sandblasting, and his business that he owns now. But I did that for a year, and I was like, I don't want to do this the rest of my life. I want to get the hell out of here. Join the Marines, because it's the hardest one. I'm getting out of here. Yeah. Did that. Within my first 4 years of joining the Marines, so I loved it because finally discipline. Never had discipline in my life. Never had structure. Never had it, so it was awesome. First 4 years, 26 months in Iraq. Two different 13-month-long deployments to Iraq. The first year was bad. Bombings, people getting killed. My 21st birthday, it was the deadliest day of female Marines in history. I think like 7 of them died. I knew all of them that got injured, and one of my best friends that died. I have a memorial to tattoo, but that was my 21st birthday. What are you doing on your 21st birthday? Going for a party and yay, 21? I'm in Iraq, and a whole bunch of people I know got killed.
And you were on foot patrol in Iraq, active duty.
Yeah, but not when they all died, but
okay.
Almost every other day I was either on a convoy patrol in the trucks or walking, like once a week or so, but 13 months long.
Dealing with IEDs.
From 6 p.m. to midnight every night, we had to wear a flak jacket and Kevlar anytime we walked out of a hardened building because we're always getting motored or rocket. And I just became immune to it. You see a flash at night, everybody runs to the buildings, it lands somewhere, it wasn't on base, start walking again. So just absolute chaos to absolute boredom to absolute fear to laughing to scared again, just all mixed together. So I got super numb to this adrenaline, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so now if like something happens, it helped me as a motorcycle instructor because now if someone flips over the handlebars because they got the front brake, I don't freak out. I just walk over, press the engine cutoff switch button, turn off the key to make sure the bike's not going to explode. Hey, are you alright? My leg kind of hurts. Okay, just stay there. I'm going to call the cops, alright? Just hang out. But no more excitement than that. And the dude literally front flipped in front of me. Because it does no good to overreact and freak out. Because you can't. Something happens and do whatever, I still have to do my job. I'm not just going to sit there like that guy in Saving Private Ryan, just frozen, right? Freaking out. So that whole deployment, back to the States, 10 months later, I got switched to a different unit. Hey, you're going back to Iraq. Cool. I was just there for 13 months. Now I'm going back for a second 13 months. But my second deployment was Camp Cupcake. Totally different base. Never left the base. No bombings the whole time. It was awesome. Came back to the States, drill instructor for 4 years. Now I was just running and screaming and yelling at people and making Marines for 4 years. Then got out in 2014, started to go to school, bachelor's, master's, second master's. Going through a school, motorcycle instructor. Or I started riding motorcycles, then I crashed, almost killed myself. I don't know what I'm doing. I need to help people not do what I did. I was an idiot. I want to become an instructor to help people. Became a motorcycle instructor while I'm going to school. Did that for 5-6 years straight. Then 2018, June, let's just get this knowledge that I've learned of all this stuff. I'll put it on YouTube. Started making YouTube videos. Then 4 years of doing that. Now I have 4 books, my app, and my YouTube channel. Now I'm just fully retired and just doing whatever I want to do every day, which is now jiu-jitsu every day, or rock climbing, or making videos, or sleeping, or whatever I want to do. But finally get to the point where I don't want to, once you have the financial and real freedom to have the real, that provides you real freedom to do whatever you want to do. Once you have financial freedom, because I asked everybody this, if I gave you $5 million right now, would you still do what you do? 99% of people say, no, I'd quit my job in a heartbeat. Great. What would you do then? I'd work with horses. I love horses. I'd go be a horse trainer. I'd paint. Why don't you do that now? Tomorrow's not promised. Do you not realize every day you wake up, you could see, you could walk, you have hands, you have feet, you're healthy, you have food, you're in a home. No one you didn't get a phone call saying someone you love is dead. You know how lucky you are? And you waste your damn time doing what you don't want to do? How stupid is that existence? You're just pretty much waiting to die. Every day is the same thing, like, oh, tomorrow's guaranteed to come, and nothing's going to happen to me bad every single day. No one I know is going to be dead tomorrow, and people live their lives like that. So when something happens, it's so shocking to people. They're so disconnected from the reality, either through denial or just straight ignorance, or both. But I've face to face with death and all this bad shit for so long. Every day I wake up, I'm like, wow, I have another day to be alive. And a lot of people, today is the worst day of someone's life.
So I think, in my own experience talking to you about death, because you've experienced and witnessed and been in a war environment and a conflict where you've had to basically keep yourself alive, Marines and soldiers like yourself have a completely different perspective than civilians who have never...
Yeah.
They see it in the movies, they see it on TV, they may unfortunately see a car accident happen at some point, something in their lives.
Did you see that NFL where that guy just dropped over and he's given CPR
but it obviously changes you. Did you grow up religious?
No.
No?
Nope,
No,
nothing.
no traditional Catholic or Christian, Presbyterian? Okay.
Well,
so when you went into the military, you weren't... What was your spiritual position before you joined the Marine Corps?
Well,
Or did they knock that out of you?
No, so I grew up with nothing. Not even nothing, really. Then I went to Georgia for a little bit with my mom and my half-brother. Then he stayed there in Georgia. I don't know why. And then my mom and I moved back to Wisconsin. And my mom, left my brother there with some family, some Christian family that he got raised with. I went back to Wisconsin with my mom. I still don't know to this day why she just left one of her kids in Georgia with these family. I don't know. So he was raised by a Christian family, and then because he's my older brother, I joined the Marines. Then I was in North Carolina, he was in Georgia, so it was not that far of a drive. I'm like, oh, I want to be like him, so I joined the bandwagon, and I want to be like you too. So I got baptized behind his church in a river, and I want to be a Christian too, and all that stuff. And then going through Iraq and everything, that first maybe 4 or 5 years, all the way up until I was a drill instructor. I was I joined the club and everything like that, but I was just too curious. I just started asking a bunch of questions. So first, I took a world religion class for my bachelor's.
So this is the question I'm getting to: is where did your spirituality come from?
So I took a world religion class, and I was introduced to different religions.
Everything, Buddhism.
Yeah, I just started reading. So then I was like, I'm going to read the Bible, and I want to read the Quran, and I want to read everything and study everything. And I was just like, then I really started questioning. I go back to different churches, and I just go ask the pastors, what about this? What about this? And their answer was, God did it. Or, God works in mysterious ways. I'm like, that's so stupid. It's such a cop. That's not an answer. You don't know, but you don't want to say you don't know. Right. And then I started researching everything. I started reading everything. Then I discovered Sam Harris and Richard Dawkins and evolution and what else that. Is this just a theory? Well, gravity is just a theory too, but you're not going to go jump off the building, right? So everything. I just started researching and just going crazy, just educating myself. And it took literally probably 10 years of researching, reading every single book, spirituality, religion, course, class, everything you could possibly imagine. And then, but then I was like, okay, their brand of what they grew up with, that's what they believe, but there's people on the other side of the world that don't believe that, and they both think they're right, and what are you going to do? And then, and then there's the same story happens over and over again, like all the different gods, and say you believe in a god, right, whatever it is, but you don't believe in the 2,000 million, however many millions of other gods you don't believe in, and that's perfectly normal to you. Well, I just don't believe in that one either. So we both agree they're all 999 million gods aren't real, but I just go one more further. Like the one you believe, I also don't believe that one because there's no proof, and there's just I don't think there's any real reason to believe anything. I think it's man's first attempt to explain the world. Can you imagine being alive 2,000, 3,000 years ago and a lunar eclipse happens? Like the moon is turning red. Whatever I just did, or whatever's going on in my tribe, this is so bad. Whatever happened, the moon is turning red. Can you imagine how scary lightning has got to be?
Or the volcano's erupting.
No idea what's going on. So you make up
the earth is shaking.
You make up these stories to explain the world because you don't know anything, and it's man's first attempt to try to explain what's going on in the natural world. But now to think of I have to sacrifice my son to change the weather, it's just you're insane.
So with all your reading and self-study and going to school and questions that you're asking about the reason why we're here, reason for life, and figuring out who you are as a human being. The point at which you're at now, would you describe yourself as an atheist or an agnostic?
No.
What sort of spirituality? Are you practicing any religions? Are you continuing to research? Or do you feel like, for you personally, you're comfortable with where you're at with the God or gods or goddesses or spirit world or nothing?
Yeah, people, it's just like, well, I really like Neil deGrasse Tyson's answer when Joe Rogan asked him this. It's like, are you this or that? It's like, I'm not any-ist, because people automatically, whatever negative, whatever stereotypes they come with that word, whatever word it is, Catholic, atheist, agnostic, Buddhist, whatever word it is, people just assume all that crap belongs to you because you say you are that. So I'm like, I purposely just don't say I'm any of that stuff.
Okay.
Or the flip side, I'm all of it. Yes, I'm agnostic, atheist, Catholic, I'm a Christian, I'm a Muslim, I'm every bit of it. I'm Muslim, I'm a Hindu, yep, that's me. I do all of it.
I do it all.
So either one.
You're a human being.
Yeah, it's just
trying to figure it out.
Because, or like Sadhguru, people who believe don't know. Because if you knew, you wouldn't have to believe.
Right.
So if you say, I don't know, if you're brave enough to say, I don't know, that means the longing for knowing will come within you, exactly what Sadhguru says. And then you'll be a seeker of like, I want to learn, I want to know, so I'm a seeker. I'm not saying I believe in something because believe it, there's no evidence, so I'm just going to believe it. I believe there's red monsters on Pluto. I could believe it. Doesn't make it true. Who gives a crap what I believe? But
so you have the whole approach of MotoJitsu through your channel is.
But now, so to answer your question with everything, like now, like after I discovered like the guys I talk about in my third book, like Rupert Spira, non-duality, Sadhguru, Eckhart Tolle. Everybody knows Eckhart Tolle. It's mainly just there's nothing. It's just consciousness. And what is consciousness? What does that even mean? So people think the universe is conscious. Maybe trees are conscious. Birds are conscious. Only consciousness is conscious.
Think only about that for a second, hang on.
And here's one thing, like I say in the book, like Rupert Spira, non-duality means, duality is this, here's me, and you're obviously not me, that camera is not me, the motorcycle's not me, this is me, and that's everything outside of me is, outside of my skin is you, everything inside the skin is me. But what do you mean by when you say I? Alan Watts, listen to Alan Watts, listen to Ram Dass. When you say I, what do you mean? Your body? Your body changes all the time. Your skin replaces itself all the time. So you're obviously not your body. Are you the same as you were when you were a 2-year-old boy? Nothing about you is the same. Physically, literally nothing about you is the same. So your body can't be you because it's ever changing. Who would disagree with that? It's 100% true. Your thoughts come and go. all the time. You're thinking, how many different things have you thought in your life?
Millions, probably billions of different thoughts.
Your thoughts always come and go, so that can't be you, because it's always going and coming.
Always changing.
You're happy, you're sad, you're angry, you're excited, so your emotions come and go. So those aren't you, because those always come and go too. What is the only thing about you that has never changed your whole damn life? There's only one element about every person in the world that's never ever changed. Your body changes, your thought changes, your emotion changes, everything about you always changes, so that none of that you can never say, when I say I can never say any of that stuff is me, because it's always going away.
I mean, I consider myself pretty spiritually connected to the universe, and I would say that my soul doesn't change. I would describe my soul as the life force and energy that makes me me.
Right, so the feeling of I. When I was 5 years old, I'm me. When I was 10-year-old, I said I. When I was 15, I said I. 20, 30, 38 now, I'm saying I. I know, I'm me, I. What is that? So imagine if you woke up and you unzipped your whole body and you stepped out of your body. What would be walking around? Not your body, not your thoughts, not your emotion.
Energy,
whatever.
consciousness.
Yeah.
Life force that makes.
Yeah, consciousness, soul, whatever it is.
Right.
Then now here's something, because everything, right? I always like to play the devil's advocate with everything I think. So a soul, right? So Jeffrey Dahmer killed people, ate people, wanted to make them zombies so he could sex things. It's crazy, right? Can you blame, whose fault is it that he had a psychopathic soul? Wow. Now, aren't you lucky you don't have a psychopathic soul? Did you choose your own soul? Did you choose your parents? Did you choose when and where you were born? Why weren't you born in Iran 500 years ago? Why weren't you born a woman right now in Saudi Arabia? You can't even read or write or do anything. Or why weren't you born attracted to the same sex from birth? And there's people being thrown off buildings right now in 2023.
Well, maybe you were.
So,
do you believe in reincarnation?
But right now you weren't. Why weren't you? And people say, well, the same thing is going to happen to me when I die. The same thing happened to me before I was born. I don't remember before I was born. Therefore, when I die, I won't remember. Well, that's missing one big thing. You don't remember, so you don't know. Before you were born, you could have been a bird, and you died, and now you just appeared as a human. Maybe when you die, you become another human. Maybe you die, you're on the reincarnation track, and eventually, after whatever, you do enough stuff, and you become a Buddha, where you just stop doing that bull crap of cycles and stuff, where you're done. You're done playing the game of keep on pretending you're not already who you're searching for. But the non-duality thing is like, this me, that's you. But that's duality. Non-duality is there is no difference between, because where are you hearing me right now?
What do you mean? Where?
You're hearing my voice, right?
Yes.
Where is the sound of my voice taking place?
In the room in front of you.
Within you.
Me. I'm listening to it and I'm taking that noise.
Where the sight of my face, where is it happening? Where do you see me at? Inside you.
Yes.
If you hear a bird, the sound is not over there. Where is the sound of the clock ticking happening? Inside you. Everything anybody ever experiences is inside you. Try to name one experience that doesn't happen inside you.
This is why I love talking to you. We're going to need more tape and more time.
Name one experience that anybody has ever had, could ever have, or will ever have that does not take place inside you.
I know. Come on.
It's just everything. There is no separation. Everything is exactly everything. It's just all one. So
this is why you helped me when I was having my dilemma, because you explained to me about how we don't have control. There is no control.
Oh,
do you remember that conversation we had?
Yeah. So here,
I was upset because I didn't have control and I couldn't save these people.
So I'll summarize it. Ready? So here we go. I want you to grow one of your hair on your head 0.5 millimeter right now. You don't control. How do I do that? So I'll start with the big stuff. You don't digest your own food. You don't beat your own heart. You don't make your spleen do what your spleen does. You have absolutely no clue. I have no idea how my arm raised. I don't know how any of this works. I don't know how I breathe. I don't know how I grow bones. I don't know how I heal wounds. 99.99% of your body you have no control over, your own body. And you're not even in control of your own thoughts. You do not think your thoughts before you think them. People think you're the creator of your own thoughts. So here's an example. Listen to Sam Harris about free will. But here's a quick example. I want to say, think of any animal in the world. Let me know when you have one.
Okay, yeah.
What is it?
Cat.
That's the wrong answer. I want you to think of another animal. Any animal in the whole world.
A dog.
Wrong one. Think again.
A snake.
Okay.
What's the point here?
Why
I'm trying to think of what you're thinking of?
Why did you not? Why did your brain not pop up elephant? If you pay really close attention, you have no idea where cat or dog came from. So first, you could only think of animals that you know the names of.
Right.
If you don't know the name of an animal, it's impossible for you to think of it.
Of course.
So, where does the free will come from? Something just popped up that said cat. Now, you don't know why that popped up, and you don't know why you decided to think of it. You could. Why did your brain not say cat's too common? I want to go with centipede. You have no clue why that even came up. I don't even know why centipede came up. I don't know what I want to say at the end of the sentence before I say it. You do not create your own thoughts. And if you think you do, what are you going to remember in 4 minutes that you forgot to do 20 minutes ago? You have no idea what you will remember next. Why does something inspire you to take action, but the same thing said by someone else doesn't inspire you? Can you not understand what I'm saying to you right now? You have no choice over that. You have no choice of what you think, what your body does. That's just your own body and your own thoughts. You think you're in control of what other people do or say? How the world works, rains, weather, people, accidents, die. I could have an aneurysm right now. I'm just dead on camera. A billion views, right? This MotoJitsu dies.
MotoJitsu dies during interview.
No control over nothing. So the more people try to hold on to control, the worse it gets. You put sand in your hand, on dry sand, it'll balance really high. You start to squeeze to keep control, what happens to all the sand? It's going to go all out because you're putting pressure on something that is just ill-balanced there forever. You start to squeeze it, it's going away. There is no, if you try to control something that's uncontrollable, it gets worse.
That was one of the main things, that was the fundamental thing I took away from my conversation with you that other people hadn't said to me, was stop trying to control the actions of others or the behavior of others or what other people do when you can't control.
You can't even control yourself. You
No.
don't. You can't even control your own
So
thoughts.
you have to just let go.
It's
and
just
to find that state of
It's just
peace
accepting the reality of I
and
can't
quiet.
control what anybody says or does.
And I've been really trying to implement that in my own life, and it's made a fundamental difference.
Here's the only thing I can do. Again, Neil deGrasse Tyson said this, or maybe it was Bill Nye the Science Guy. But every day I wake up and I try to help someone and learn something new. If you just, what if everybody woke up for one day, every person on the planet, and their only goal in life for that one day was, I want to try to learn something new I didn't already know. I want to try to help somebody else in any way I can. What if everybody did that for 24 hours? Can you imagine how amazing this world would be?
It would be, right?
The simplest thing. You want to talk about religion and something to actually follow, like something that makes sense, every word of it makes sense, and it doesn't require some super belief about this guy's walking on water, or this guy came down Gabriel and all this. Okay. Jainism. Do not harm any living thing. Do not harm, mistreat, abuse any living creature at all. Any living thing. That means trees are living. They produce oxygen. Do not harm anything. That alone is better than like any religion you could imagine. Just a simple statement. Like, for example, like the 10 Commandments, like Sam Harris said this, they're supposed to be so amazing that they came down from God. Okay, any one of us can improve the 10 Commandments in 3 seconds. Do not mistreat children. That's better than like 4 of them you could get rid of right off the bat. Do not mistreat children is automatically an improvement of the 10 Commandments. How can I do that with my stupid little human brain? And supposedly these things are just so amazing that no other person could ever fathom how great the 10 Commandments are. Do not mistreat children is better than like half those things on that damn thing.
Covet your neighbours. It's like, yeah, exactly. Agreed.
It's so simple. Just, and here's the other thing about all that stuff. I don't care at all what you believe. The only thing I care about is your behavior. Your actions is what matters. Because you could believe in Satan, you believe in the devil, you're a devil worshiper, but you're nice. You're respectful to people. You don't try to harm anybody. You're kind to everybody. You're nice. The waitress comes and yes, ma'am, and you know she's a waitress, so she doesn't make that much money. You give her a $50 tip because it doesn't mean much to you, but it means everything to her. But you could believe in the devil. I would rather hang out with that guy all day long than a religious person who thinks they're better than everybody, who looks down on everybody because they think they have God on their side. I'd rather hang out with the devil worshiper every day of the week because their behavior is what I care about. I could care less about what you believe, who you sleep with, what you do with I don't care at all about what you believe or what you do in your private life. It's irrelevant to me. When I was in the Marines, someone said to me, we are all green, dude. There's no male, female, black, white, religious, not religious, atheist, lesbian, gay. Who gives a crap? We're all Marines. And we, all green things, have to go and do this damn mission. And my only goal in life is to make sure you get home. Your only goal in life is to make sure I get home. You think it matters what I believe? We're both in the foxhole together, dude. This convoy sucks. I hope I don't get blown up right now. Yesterday, this route, IED, blew up the truck. Someone got hurt. I hope it's not me this time. You think I care about what that person believes? I just want them to do their job and make sure I get home. All that crap is so stupid. Only people of such privilege and luckiness of life can argue about the dumbest things that don't matter to most people on this planet.
That are worrying about fresh drinking water. Or if they're going to eat tonight.
I can't believe he actually said that. I'm tweeting, or I'm on Instagram on my $1,000 phone in my $1 million house that I don't like what this guy does. How lucky are you? And then people don't acknowledge. Just start with gratefulness of you woke up today. You are alive. I know people with no arms.
Gratitude. That was a word you used with me as well. Gratitude.
How with people that are ungrateful, I cannot be around them. I physically, there's something about them. I'm just like, it's like the air gets like someone punches me in the stomach. I can't be around people that are so ungrateful. Like, dude, you have all of this stuff. You've never been in any position where you're poor. You have nothing. You have no idea how you're gonna pay for anything, eat anything for weeks. Nothing. Combat, death, nothing. Your whole life is just a fairy tale type thing, and you're so ungrateful for all of it. You have no perspective of anybody else's lives and what they've been through. I have nothing in common with you. My whole life view is completely opposite. I cannot be around you. That's why I have, 10 people in this entire state I talk to. Less than that I would ever actually hang out with and bring into my house. Yeah. And that's perfectly fine, because I'd rather have 5 real friends than 50 fake. And just people I have nothing in common with, I can't talk to about anything. It's just, but the gratefulness thing, out of everything else I said, who cares about any of that crap? You're kind to people. And you're grateful for you woke up. Let's just start with the basics. You woke up, you could see, you could hear, you're healthy enough to walk and ride. Now we could ride a motorcycle, a pure pleasure vehicle. That's the most impractical, stupid, waste of money thing there is. We just do it because it's fun and we have the money and health to do it. How lucky are we to ride motorcycles? People can't even afford food, and let alone buy an extra vehicle.
Or bombs are dropping on them.
Yeah, and they're scared to die every day. Exactly. So we're so lucky, and there's so many other people in the world that are nowhere near. And then we wake up bitching and complaining and ungrateful for it's so people have no you think this place is so, please go visit. Leave the country. That's what I tell people. You never left this country, have you? Nope. Exactly. 1 week of any other place in this world, you would be begging with everything you have to get back to this damn country. You have no clue.
You know, we talked briefly about my negative experience of dealing with death, and I want to delve deeper a little bit into how you cope with death. Your experience in the Marine Corps obviously gave you a foundational structure of how to deal with death, having lost friends. I'm sure you've probably lost friends on who are motorcyclists with the number of people you've known.
Well, military was the first big experience with death. Military, right. Then my dad died 2007 or something. Right. I don't know, whatever that was. And all that. It's just like it's just like anything else.
So you've read all these books and you've done some religious training or courses and learned about
listened to all different things.
You're
different
asking
churches.
all those questions. And you're realizing that there are a lot of similarities, obviously, between different world religions, organized religions.
Yeah, a lot of similarities, a lot of differences, a lot of good and bad, and
right.
Train stuff, listen to people, went and sat in Catholic Mass, Christian churches, Pentecostal, people speaking in tongues, jumping around,
I know. Right,
Buddhist temples. We went on retreats to Buddhist places and all different types of stuff. And
but what I'm really getting at, and what I've realized, I was thinking about this while you popped out. Who you are and who you portray yourself to be as a motorcycle instructor, expert rider, expert instructor, you've created a social media phenomenon, really. You have a massive following and it's only growing, and I can only see more success for you in the future. But it's almost like a cult. and I mean that in a positive way. It's almost like a religion, and I firmly believe that when you are in a group of people, like motorcyclists, you're joining a gang.
Yeah.
And there's many factions within this gang. You've got the Hells Angels, you've got the Biker Boys, you've got, the
stunters.
You've got the instructors, you've got the track day guys, you've got... It's like religion, there's many branches of it. Within what you're doing as MotoJitsu and you as Greg and what you're portraying, your style of teaching, the energy that you bring to your channel, the lessons that you're teaching, the reasons why, it all comes from a place of personal spiritual belief and growth. I know the foundation of that you wanted to help and change people and get people safe.
And people really say, sometimes I get a lot of comments saying,
do you see what I'm trying to say here?
It's not just motorcycle instructing, I'm learning from you.
Yes.
A lot of people say things like that, like you're teaching me about life stuff.
It's life skills. It's people skills, it's life skills, it's spirituality.
Like the story about when someone sat on my bike.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yes. And you encouraged...
I was like, give me your phone, I'll take a picture with them. Turn on the bike, rev it up.
And yet I know instructors who get very upset when someone touches
their bike. Get in a fight and go to jail.
I'm just like, stop it.
Let the kid sound...
I want people to ride my motorcycles. I want to swap.
So things like that happen when people are so obsessed with things.
Right.
Things become more important than people.
Material, exactly. So this is where I want you to talk now about that sort of spiritual belief system that you have in what it means to be human, what it means to deal with life and death, kids, marriage, just being alive for the time that we have on this planet, and where you are right now with your own spirituality and
somebody said it, like, imagine the thought experiment, I think Sam Harris, like you have no head. Like you wake up in the morning, you walk to the bathroom, you look in the mirror, and there's nothing there.
Okay.
Like, if you could unzip, it's almost like I see, like, it's just like a lens. Like you see different lenses. Like you see things as an instructor, see things as a social media person, you see things as, whatever. It's like almost a lens. Like sometimes I look at Kitty, like, how'd you get in there? Because just another consciousness into a kitty. Like, how'd you get into that one? Like you could unzip your, like if you just took off your body and walked out, what would that be?
Right.
And whatever people want to label it as, oh, that you're talking about the soul, man, it's your soul. Whatever the hell it is, consciousness, soul, I don't know. But I do know there's only one thing that never changes about you, and that's the feeling of I. And I know I'm not my body, because my body's always changing. I know I'm not my thoughts or my emotions or anything else, 'cause that's always coming and going. But I never lost the feeling of I'm me. I'm me. And if you look at from like biblical terms, I am who I am. I am. What did God say in the burning bush? I am. Well, everybody is I. Go ask anybody in the world, who are you? Well, I would say I'm me. Well, what does that mean? And that's one of the most interesting questions, like Alan Watts asked.
You could spend a lifetime.
Who am I? Who are you? Oh, my name is Greg. That's not you. That's why when sometimes people go to like a Buddhist monk and they go talk to some Buddhist master and they just ask them the question, who are you? And they're like, oh, my name is Greg. I'm a 38-year-old male. No, that's not it. Who are you? I'm a motorcycle educator. I used to be in the Marine. No. You're not understanding. Who are you? Then they start to get nervous. Like, what else do I say besides my name and what I do? Oh, I'm a father. I'm a kind of good guy. I'm on a bowling link. No. Who are you? And then now people are lost. And it's like, well, then you finally say, I don't know. That's a good answer. Because now admitting you don't know leaves room for learning and understanding when you say you don't know.
Growth.
If you think you do know everything, you're stuck. You're just stuck in the mud. Right? You're not going to grow and go beyond that at all.
So going back to death, always a fun subject.
I rather talk about things like aliens and death than almost anything else because it's interesting. I cannot talk about stuff that is just weather and what you think about the game. I just don't care. I don't watch. I'm not interested. I'd rather talk about anything.
So how do you talk to students who are frightened of dying on a motorcycle, or have lost friends on a motorcycle?
I don't think I've ever had any student ever ask me about that. So
Okay.
Zero, because like how do I talk to students that are afraid of dying? I don't, because I don't think any student I've had a couple actual students say, I'm afraid of crashing. I tell them, well, don't ride.
Right.
If you think this is safe, you're in the wrong business. This is not safe. It's very dangerous, but it's exciting that it is dangerous. But there's ways to mitigate the danger by what? The 3 things I've been talking about for 9 years. Wear gear, take courses, practice.
Yeah.
Can something still happen? Could you still die? Of course.
Of course.
But what kind of life do you want to live? Would you rather, so Alan Watts. I've heard this quote forever ago now, and every single time, different parts of my life, always comes back to it, where it's like, this is always true no matter where I am in my life. It's better to have a short life that is full of what you like doing than a long life spent in a miserable way.
Yeah.
Do you want to be 80 and full of regret? I wish I would have rode a motorcycle. I wish I would have joined the military. I wish I would have went skydiving. I wish I would have kissed that girl when I had the opportunity, and just be regret. But you live to be 80, or do you rather live only to be 50, but you do everything you want in life? Which life would you choose if you could choose?
A full life, doing what you want to do, what makes you happy, that it brings excitement.
Now take that concept to right now. All we have is right this moment. So we could talk about time, because that time's not real.
Human construct, I agree.
Because right now it's now, and it's 6 p.m. in San Diego. It's now. If Lila calls me in Hawaii, she's 2 hours behind us, so it's 4 p.m., but it's now. My buddy calls me at the same time, 3-way call. Lila, Hawaii, Greg, San Diego,
Different
New
time
York,
zones.
3 hours ahead, so 9 p.m. in New York, and all 3 of us on the same call, and we say, if you were talking to a child and we said now, like, how would you explain what now is? It was like, it's right now. All 3 of us are saying the same thing in 3 different time zones. She's in the past, they're in the future, but I'm the only one that's now. It's now for everybody. All there is now. Time is just something we made up. That's just rotations and things.
Right,
it's like
exactly.
that. But to make
give us
the
a level
point,
of structure in our
yeah,
lives.
give us some
as humans,
structure.
so
But
things make sense.
yeah, but there's no time. Doesn't. All there is. People think time is, but it's actually, like you hear a gong. That's the whole Buddhist
Ripples
thing.
on a pond.
Yeah, there's no distinct thing. So think about short life, full of what you love doing, and a long life spent miserable. All you have is today.
Yeah.
When we go to sleep, so here's something about death, right? Because we're talking about death. That relates to what we're talking about too. So not only do people, nobody fears going to sleep. Not only do we not fear going to sleep, we look forward to going to sleep. We
And we hope that we sleep well.
I can't wait to go to bed, take a shower and go to bed. People look so forward to doing it. But at the same time, people would say, I'm afraid to die. What happens to you when you go to sleep every night? Every bit of you, that's you, your soul, your consciousness, your personality, whatever you think you are, it's gone while you're sleeping.
Shuts down.
And you may not ever wake up. Imagine going to sleep and never waking up ever.
Right.
Well, what is death? So imagine that happens to you, right? So death is only bad if like something like you're in pain, like a bear
It's
is
traumatic.
a bear is mauling you or
Right.
something. You're like, oh my gosh, this is painful and this sucks bad, right? Or you're flying off a cliff and right before you hit the wall, you're like, this is gonna hurt. But then it's just the fear before you hit. Once there's not gonna be any pain, you're just lights out. So I heard Ram Dass talk to this. He had this quote. He was like, he was talking to somebody. And he was like, you know what death is like? It's like taking off a tight shoe. It's pretty awesome. There's nothing to be afraid of. It's like taking off a tight shoe. Like, I just relax. All this business of trying to be human and work on do these things and oh my god. Just like how he just loved to lay in a bed and just go to sleep, and he just hoped for a dreamless sleep where you could just be absolutely out, and then if you wake up tomorrow, it's great. But imagine just not waking up. People look forward to going to sleep but are afraid of death. It's literally the same thing. There is no difference. And if you don't wake up, you don't wake up. That's why, and that's true for everybody. At any moment, you may not wake up. That's why what you do today and why you're actually awake right now, and alive is what matters. Not what you might do or commit to doing or say you're going to do or not what you did. What are you doing today? That's why every night I don't regret anything I've done. And if I don't wake up tomorrow, I'm perfectly happy with what I did today. Every conversation, what I shared, who I talked to, who I spent time with. And Lila knows, I've told her many, many times, if I don't wake up tomorrow, try not to be as sad. Because everything I did today when I was alive was exactly everything I wanted to do. There's not one thing I regretted doing because I wouldn't have done it. So it's only I do what I want to do every single day. I talk to on to, and it's all based on how can you make someone's day better? How can you help someone else? If I go have a $2 coffee because I'm waiting for whatever to happen, and I have a $100 bill that someone donated to me, how about I pay for this $2 coffee with the $100 bill? Why not? It's going to brighten up their day. Why not do that? Why not do something, or just, anything? Because that's all that they may not wake up tomorrow, or they may have something traumatic happen to them that I don't know about, and someone just, like, I hated and now I just refuse to wear masks, like, unless it's a medical facility, because I always like smiling to people. I'm walking around just like, I smile at people. You never know what that's going to do to someone. They could be going through something terrible. Their mom just died, or something, suicide, or a car accident, and they're just so lonely. And someone holds open the door and like, how's it going? Just something so simple. You just never know.
Just be kind to people.
Yeah, just be kind. You never know what anybody's going through. And someone could be going through such horrible stuff. And you would, if you trade places with someone's problems, you would run back to yours as quickly as possible based on what other people are going through. And that just goes back to being the grateful thing. And it always goes back to the same fundamental things. Be grateful, be kind. You don't know what people are going through. Try to make someone's day better. Today is all you have. Forget about everything else. Religion. You have today to make something, like do something beneficial or helpful or whatever. And if you don't make it to be a movie star or a millionaire or anything else like that, you could at least be kind. If not to anybody else, be kind to yourself. You know how much negative self-talk people say, I'm a loser, I can't do anything. Who are you talking to? Are you not talking? Who's listening? Who is the talker and who is the listener? Do you not realize you're talking to yourself? Most people have a 24-hour conversation in their head all day long, and they're commentating on things that you already know. I look at that. I'm saying in my mind, look at that Jenga set right there. Oh, look at that. What type of? Who am I talking to? I can see it, and I already know. Who's listening? I already know it. Why am I saying it? It's so dumb. But if I talked out loud if I said what I'm saying in my mind out loud all day long, if I talked what's in my mind, people would think you're nuts. You're just like, who's this guy talking to himself all day long? But people are doing that internally in their skull 24 hours a day, and they think that's normal. It's strange.
What are you frightened of? Do you have any fears?
Yeah, well...
Fear of death?
No, that's... Okay. Just like I don't fear going to sleep. So, but I fear what most people... Like, I don't want to, see a truck coming at me and going by in the corner.
You've done that. You know it's not pleasant.
I don't want to... Like, the main things people are afraid of. Like, I don't want to be burned or drowned. I don't want to see people get hurt. I don't like...
traumatic injury.
Yeah, traumatic injuries,
If you want to go, you want to go fast.
Yeah, dying to sleep or whatever. But the deeper meaning to what I'm afraid of is like because of the Marines and everything, the only thing I actually dislike about people that drives me crazy is incompetence. Like I'm afraid of being like useless. Like I'm not doing something for the world. I don't want to be useless or be looked at as you did nothing with your life. Like you wasted this amazing thing. You had all this stuff and you did nothing with it.
You want to leave your mark.
Like make a difference. I don't want to be useless.
Leave the planet better than when you found it.
I don't want to be remembered as like I did something beneficial to the world. I made some type of difference that made a beneficial, good direction step in someone's life somewhere. Even if it's just one person that watched the video and took a class and whatever. But I just showed you that video today of that guy practicing braking where he did not T-bone the car because he said he watched my video. So just that one video right there, if that's the only video.
You saved your life.
Yeah.
Just like that.
If that video is the only feedback I've ever gotten of anything I've ever done and I died tomorrow, that would be enough to be like, I'm glad I made a difference. That guy can now go,
And I love the butterfly effect of that.
Yes.
That man in his life and his future and his spouse, partner,
and his kids and it could
whatever.
Yeah, you never know.
You just don't know.
Yeah. But not making a difference. If I died,
certainly making a difference.
If I died tomorrow, and I wouldn't fear it, but it would just be, I wouldn't want people to think, and it's very easy. This will happen. A lot of people just hate me or whatever, but I don't care if I'm being hated because that comes with the game of being an online popular person. But like we were talking about before, no one who has ever met me in person and hung out with me more than 5 minutes doesn't like me. Like I'm not saying I'm the most likable person. Some people I'm not their cup of tea because of my personality or the way I say things, but very few people ever met me in person like just don't like me. Maybe it's like, okay, I'm not gonna be friends with the guy, but I have no issue with them. But a lot of people that just don't like me never met me before. And here's I forgot who said this, but it said, if you have an actual problem with me, call me up and we'll talk about it. If you don't know me enough to have my cell phone number, we don't have a problem, bro. Like you don't know me enough to you have anything to, and most people only know me through my YouTube videos. That's 5% of my life.
Right.
But that's 100% of what people know about me. That's why I'd like the people that don't like me the most, it'd be fun to have to fly them here. Remember I said?
Yes.
Resources to fly them here and go riding with them all day. I have 2 bikes now. You ride my GS or I'll ride the Husky, whatever. Let's just go ride and hang out for a day. And you probably have a different opinion. Or if you don't, that's fine too, but at least you'd have the full picture. Because all you're seeing is a puzzle piece, like, man, this thing sucks. Well, you don't understand the picture. Like, look what it creates, something really cool.
Right.
But you're just looking at one aspect. And maybe the picture is something you don't like anyway, but at least you can see the whole thing. That's just another thing, like the butterfly effect. You don't know what this one thing will do, because this may affect that, and that may affect this, and you don't know. But
Goals and dreams for the future?
just in general,
Yeah. I mean, we talked about you wanting to expand your channel and your business empire, if you like.
just
which
reach
will
more people, help
reach
people.
more people and help more people, which is the
Yeah.
indirect result of.
So I want to do what Mr. Beast does on YouTube, but with motorcycling.
Wonderful.
So I want this is what.
Make financial giveaways and incentives
This
and
is-
make it really exciting and entertaining in that respect.
So I've done little things like this
Right.
because whatever I'm able to do, I do at that level. If I get more, I give away more. So what I want to be able to do is go to a dealership and just sit there in a chair behind the service desk, or just sit on a bike. Anybody who comes up to get their bike done with service, no matter what, I don't even ask. I don't even care. I got tires done, oil change, 10,000 mile service. I don't care what it is. Hey man, I'm paying for your service. Here's my card. I have a YouTube channel that will help you ride better if you're interested. Here you go. Oh, it's paid for? It's paid for. I won't even ask how much it is. What do I'm just paying for it. I'll just sit there all day long.
Right.
And just do that. Then the
You
next
mean
day,
like the helpful Honda guys.
the next
heard
day-
those ads on the radio.
yeah, I'll go to a different dealership the next day. So I've always been wanting to do this my whole life. I walk into Walmart and I go on the microphone. I say, anybody in here right now, whatever will fit in your cart, I will pay for it. If it's not falling out and you could balance it on your cart, I'm going to pay for it. Or just go sit there behind a grocery store. Whoever has a stack full of carts, just walk up to them and just, boop, I'm paying for all your stuff. Have a good day.
Well, Oprah's been doing that for years on her
Yeah,
show.
and I love things like that. There's a
just
lot
the
of YouTube
giveaways
people.
and just-
There's
yeah.
people that go to a restaurant and I forgot their name, like Big Dog or something. But there's a lot of YouTube people that are doing that, like Mr. Beast does. They sit down, can I have a glass of water? Sure. Can I have a napkin, please? Sure. Would you like anything else? No, thank you. But you've been awesome. Thank you for doing this. Here's $10,000 in cash. Like, because I know being poor,
It
like,
changes people's
really poor,
lives, being able to help.
for something like that to happen and to be able to do something like that would be incredible. So I try to do, and however much I have, I do that. So within the last 45 days, I've given away like $4,500 in cash to random friends. And the more I get, the more I just want to give away. Isn't that weird? Like,
It's
there's
no, I
like there's
understand
like
that
I
feeling.
just more like I want to give. If I won the lottery, like if I won $100 million, my brain says this: holy crap, I have $20 million to buy stuff, or buy a house and do whatever. Because
50 motorcycles.
where's 80 million going to go? Well, 50 million, 5 charities: Wounded Warrior Project, Rainey's, Children's Hospital, the Burn Shelter, Lions, Tigers, and Bears, Animal Sanctuary of all these animals that have been trafficked for buying tigers and crap. Tiger King like rescue these animals, and cancer research. Like, it's just gone. Like, what the hell do I need $100 million for? I don't. You guys are all getting $10 million, and then invest, and I'd give away 90 million. Then I have 10 million. So what do I do with $10 million? Okay, so I'd invest $9 million in the stock market. I have $1 million in cash for whatever. $9 million a year with an 8% interest, just your money. That's like $50,000 a month that my money will make. If I can't live off $50,000 a month, I'm in the wrong game, right? So why would I just want? So the first time in my life, just recently this happened. Every time, like, oh, if you won the lottery, what would you do? What would you do? Just recently, within the last month, is the first time my first thought was, now I want to retire all my friends. I want to give away as much as I can to all these Wounded Warrior Project, Burn Center, all these research facilities, Rainey's Children's Hospital, all these things, and I want to retire all of my friends so we could all go hang out. That's the first time in my life I've ever thought that, and that's the only thing. That's why I wrote down on my book I have in my house. I'll show you. What are my goals for 5 years? You just asked me, right?
Yeah.
1,000,000 subscribers, 1,000,000 followers, this. I could pay off this, do this. Now I've scribbled all that out, and I have right here my goals: retire my friends. How much money would I have to make to retire all my buddies? My buddy who's a cop, retire him. Because if I gave him $5 million, he said he wouldn't keep doing his job. So I want to retire him, retire Mike, retire my buddy Ryan. What can I do to retire all my buddies?
There's a famous story with George Clooney, and he had, when he was a beginning, struggling actor sleeping on his friend's couch in Hollywood, when he got famous and successful and became George Clooney, the multi-billionaire movie star, he invited his 10 closest best friends to his house, and he had $1 million in cash in 10 bags, so $10 million, and he gave $1 million to each of his 10 friends on the condition that they had to accept it. If one of them refused to accept it, none of them get any of it. And it was a personal gift from him to them for the love, support, everything that they gave him when he had nothing and was struggling. He wanted to pay it back, pay it forward, and just say, thank you. I'm now in a position to help.
Yeah.
Here you go. And a lot of them were still struggling actors, or they had a little bit of success in the industry. They weren't at his level in financial independence.
Yeah.
He just gave it away. And
So
it
my
was
buddy
well
Rob-
documented. They wrote about it in the LA Times and stuff. And I was like, wow, what an amazing thing to do.
Yeah, so my buddy Ryan, I've known him for 30 years, and he helped me when I was really poor.
Right.
Like, gave me food and clothes and stuff. So Christmas, this December, Christmas, we're talking about something or do whatever, and I was like, I just love that I could do this. So I texted him, I was like, check your PayPal. I gave him $1,000. And then he was like, oh man, this helps me so much. I was doing this and Christmas and blah, blah, whatever. And he told me this whole bunch of stuff, and I was like, whoa. Like, all this stuff is going on. So within I was on my bicycle at the beach. By the time I got back, I texted him, I was like, check your PayPal again. I sent him another $1,000. And then he came here last weekend for 5 days. I gave him a check for $1,000 in the beginning of it. And then at the end of the day, or the end of the 5 days he was here, I gave him another $1,000. Because he helped me when no one else did, when I was like 8 and nothing. And he was there. So I was like, anything you ever need,
Now
don't.
you're in a position to help.
And I just want to do more. Like, now it's thousands of dollars.
Right.
I mean, this whole MotoJitsu business, all this crap, this is just 4 years. 4 years from now, what would I be doing? What? Now those checks will be just for fun, given away. Will be $10,000. Hey Ryan, check your PayPal. Here's $10,000. Where it won't even mean anything to me if I could give you 10 grand. And if I could do that to him, then I can go to the dealerships. Or this is also what I want to do. I want to go to dealerships. Someone walks out of the financial department. They just bought a new bike, and I'm standing there because I know the owners of all these places, right? Like, congratulations. Like, do you know who I am? Like, do you ever recognize me? He's like, no, I have a YouTube channel. You can watch videos, help you ride. What bike did you just buy? Oh, you bought that bike. Oh, do you have full gear? What don't you have? Like, my wife got me a helmet, or I got a helmet, but I don't have any. You're about to go get full gear. Go pick out what you need. Jacket, gloves, boots, pants. Like, you're going to have full gear before you leave this dealership. Go pick out anything. I'm paying for it. And just do that all day. And just go to different dealerships and do service. That's all I want to do, like, all day long. Like, that'd be so much fun, because that's what I care about. Gear, courses, practice. Champ School, they take, I think it's 30 students. So I want to call up the guys at Champ School, Nick Einash has a cell phone number and thing. Like, hey man, the Champ School you're doing next year at Willow Springs, local, I'm paying for all the seats.
Okay.
And I'm only going to want my buddies to come. It's just going to be a private MotoJitsu. And even if 12 show up, I'll pay for all 30. And it's just going to be like just the 12 of us. We're just all going to come. Or whoever wants to go, I'm just sending them. You're not paying for the course, but I want you to go get this training.
Because you know how valuable it is.
Yep.
And how important it is.
Yep.
On a personal note, family, fatherhood in the future for you? Do you think you're going to be a good dad? I think you'd be an awesome father. But
I'm no
desire to
not gonna
have kids?
No, not really. No. I like the idea of like well, my dad was
running around.
well, my dad was awesome. My dad was awesome. Never saw him get angry, get mad, swear my whole life. Always talking with people, making everybody laugh. He was my buddy Ryan, who I've known for 30 years, nicknamed my dad Fast Eddie. It's my dad's nickname, Fast Eddie, that I adopted. So when I say Fast Eddie in my videos, nothing to do with me or being fast. It was my dad's nickname. So when people call me that, it just reminds me of my dad. Nothing to do with anything.
It's in honor of your
It's not-
father.
yeah,
That's a nice
it's
thing.
tattooed on my arm, Fast Eddie. But that was his nickname, F.E., Fast Eddie. It's nothing to do with me. But when people say that, it just reminds me of him. Nothing to do with...
Did he ride?
Nope.
No.
My buddy Ryan, who I know for 3 years, we were playing basketball. My dad missed a shot, and he said, "Too bad, F.E." He's like, "What the heck? What's F.E.?" Fast Eddie, that's your dad. His name is Edward. My middle and last name is his first and last name. So, and that nickname stuck, and all my friends called him Fast Eddie. "Where's Fast Eddie at? Here comes F.E." My mom called him F.E., everything. So, and when he died in 2001 or whatever the hell it was, I don't remember. And then all the way up until whatever, nothing. And then finally I started making videos, and I was like, "Hey everyone, Fast Eddie here." But
Right.
it's just, I adopted his nickname because it just reminds me of my dad when people say that to me. Even people message me on
that's
Instagram.
lovely. It
Hey,
is nice.
like dude on a motorcycle, she texts me, "Hey Effie, how's it going? I got a quick question for you if you have a minute." I'm like, "Yeah, sure, what's up?" But it's just because she knows it's my dad. But yeah, like to have my own kids or anything, I would probably just adopt a kid if I was gonna do anything. I wouldn't probably have my own kid. But the idea of teaching somebody stuff and just from all that stuff, it would be fun. Because just like now, like I see people teach them things and see people grow up as like motorcycle riders or whatever they get interested in. But yeah, but no big desire to have kids or anything like that. Like right now, like I'm not trying to, I want to go have a bunch of kids.
Do you think there's room on the channel to incorporate?
And I also like just honestly, I don't want that responsibility. Right? Like right now, I want to be able to wake up tomorrow, get on my motorcycle and ride for 12 hours and not worry about it. Like, and that's what I want. And people are like, "Well, I can't do that. I have 4 kids." You chose to have kids. I chose not to. I wanted the freedom, and I want the freedom. So it's almost like I think about it as like the same motivation. Like I doing this for family and my kids to have a better feel. It's like I'm not doing that because I want to have more time to help more people. And I would not have the time to make videos and do what I did if I was running around chasing a toddler. Because all my time, because if I do something like jiu-jitsu or anything else, like we were talking about, I go 100% into it. And only right now would I ever want to be in a position my whole life where I even would ever want kids is at this moment. Well, I was retired, I'm retired, and we both have the finances to be there all day, every day.
Right.
Not sending them off, not going to a job where we're both gone, sending the kid off to go get, what is it called? Not babysat, but
Yeah. Daycare.
daycare.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to be there all day long with the kid, every day, all day.
Present.
Present. That's the best thing. My dad didn't have poor. Everybody's poor. Nobody in my family graduated high school, college, nothing ever. Dirt poor, but he was there, and that's the best thing he ever did for me was just be there. So if I ever had a kid, I'd want to be there. I would not want to be in the Marines. I don't want to be deployed. I don't want to have a job. I don't even want to be gone at all. And I wouldn't want the mom to be gone either. She's not working. I'm not working. We're all retired. We just work and just be with the kid all day, every day. So now is the only time in my life where I could actually say, this is the only time would I ever even want a kid if I did have a kid, because I want to be there all the time.
All right, last question. Final question. I'm going to let you go.
All right.
Go all night. What makes you truly happy, and are you happy? Would you consider yourself a happy person?
Overall, probably not. Overall, probably no, not happy. But I don't think I think a big mistake just in general is people think things make you happy. Like Jim Carrey has a famous quote, "I wish everybody could become rich and famous to realize that's not the answer." And only someone rich and famous can say that, obviously. So a smaller level, I could 100% say that.
Yeah.
I'm financially secure. I have motorcycles and a car and whatever else I pretty much want to buy, whatever else. But I feel the same as I did before I had any of this stuff. So
Interesting.
Things don't make you happy. Because if you're a happy person, or if you're grateful and a happy person, or do whatever, what you have or don't have doesn't change anything. It's like, well, it's easy to say when, it's always comes back to that where it's like, it's easy for you to say now, well, I grew up probably worse than most people listening, just with nothing on my own since I was 13. So I grew up with nothing.
So I know you have gratitude. We talked about gratitude earlier, but gratitude is different from happiness. Money can make you happy, and buying things can give you a temporary happiness and material wealth. But
I think money can give you peace of mind where you don't have to worry about so much stuff. I think money is a tool that if you're not worried about paying your rent and your bills, like you're always going to be stressed. So you make money to have peace of mind.
Yeah.
if you think money to
It's
buy
a
more
tool.
crap, that's all it is. I think it's a peace of mind tool to give you peace of mind to not worry so much about things. But I think the big mistake is you or that is supposed to make me happy. Then you get that, or you meet this person, then you have the standard up here that you built in your mind because of movies and TV shows and whatever else. They're supposed to make me happy. You put that expectation on them, you get disappointed. Well, you must be the wrong person. Divorce, next person. It must be the wrong bike. I'm not happy. I must get another bike. Because you're always putting it that way. You're pointing out to something to find to make you happy. And that's just not the case. That's never ending. I spent a lot of my life thinking things would make me happy. If only if I had made more money. Because I grew up poor.
So
then I'll finally be happy.
that comes full circle to your quest for spirituality and understanding your own personal belief system with spirituality and where we are in this cosmos, in this universe. Are you still on that quest? Do you think it's going to be a lifelong thing for you? Are you happy with where you're at and with what you always...
Yeah, based on everything I've learned and experienced and gone through, and like what I talk about in the end of that book, like I had an actual experience of something pretty crazy, and that really had like a shift.
Because you're on a quest for personal happiness, right? Would you agree?
Not personal happiness, but more like of
Peace?
but peace. So
A quest for personal
So-
peace,
so-
if that's the happiness. that you're
so
looking
you know
for.
what my goal is? You said like my goal and stuff. So you
Right.
read Breakfast with Buddha.
And Dinner with Buddha.
So Breakfast with Buddha, I read that 20 times. I think I showed you. I have like almost every page highlighted.
Yes.
Him in the first book, Breakfast with Buddha, that's my goal. To be absolutely content with nothing and be so peaceful and that nothing bothers you. You're in...
Like a Zen monk, a Buddhist monk.
You know how many times I thought about like literally selling everything and just
Walking away from it all.
Well, my dream since I was a kid, for whatever reason, especially now, it's been ramped up, and Lila knows this too. A log cabin, forest. I like woods. I like trees, but I have a log cabin like in a little clearing of woods. Log cabin, some kind of water source nearby, like a creek or something running water. I have a truck and a dog, because dogs are amazing animals. Cat, and you run around. But there's like, you know, big wood burning or big fireplace and stuff like that, and just little things. But and maybe 30 minutes, like a drive, like to town where I could like get food and stuff, because I'm not a hunter or whatever. But just to be out alone and not, and like there's no TV in there, there's no internet. It's just a fireplace, and I'm just outside, could walk around in the woods and stuff like that, and with a stick and play with the dog. Especially after all this social media stuff, that everything is connected. My whole business is online. Everything I have to do, I have to spend so much money a month for the app and for people to do my QuickBooks and my business and there's so much crap. I don't want any of that crap half the time. Like, I don't want to do all this stuff, but it allows me to help more people, so then I do it. And this is the thing. So I heard this play before, and I was like, I wish I could play this again. And this is true. And this thing is really, really true. But it's not a happy thing. It's a sad thing. I think I sent it to. Yep, I did. So listen to this. I'll play it, but I'm gonna turn it up so you can listen to it.
You know what the saddest fucking shit is? The people that are the most broken and are hurting and are the saddest are the ones that would do absolutely anything for anyone else. Because they know the pain, they know what it feels like, and they don't want anyone else to have to go through that. But in doing so, they break even more, because nobody ever does that for them. What the saddest fucking shit is?
Yeah.
So I grew up with nothing and nothing, right? So now I'm like on a quest to not only be okay, but to be able to give away time, resources, money, to do whatever else. Just like that said, do anything, but then it's also reinforces the sadness of, but nobody does that. So it's like I try to be the example to do what I would like to see other people to do, be the change you want to see in the world. Just go above and beyond what anybody expects to do anything, but then nobody does it. So I'm like, well, maybe if I just keep doing it, more people would be inspired and they would start doing it. But I don't see that very rarely. So, but then I can't stop doing it because I don't want people to go through that. So it's that circle, you know what I'm saying? But I heard that for the first time. I was like, that is the first time like that really encompasses, like that is exactly how I feel. And I sent that to Lila, and she hasn't listened to it yet, but when she gets back home Tuesday, whatever, I'm going to play it for her. I'm like, this is, like, because it's hard to, like, how do you explain something like that if you've never heard it? Like, I can't put things like that into words, but when I heard that, I'm like, that's 100% true.
Hit a nerve.
Yeah, like 100% true, 100%. But it's like, well, I'm not going to, just like I said, I can't stop because I don't want anybody to not, to like, what am I supposed to do? Let my buddy that I've known for 30 years, like, struggle with rent or whatever the hell? He has 2 boys.
No,
like, we grew up as boys and not having things to do or money and things like that. I was like, oh, you have 2 boys? You know, how expensive are kids? And they're doing whatever. Like, I have the resources where I could give away some money and help you out, but am I going to stop doing that because he's not doing it back? I don't want anything back. It would be insulting to me if he came to me tomorrow and be like, hey man, you gave me this much money in the last couple of years, here's a check. I would like, you are insane. It's a gift. I do not want anything back. It's just for what you already did for me, you know. But yeah.
When people give of their time, give of financial resources, whatever, it's because they can afford to do it and they want to do it.
Yeah.
So therefore you should accept it gratefully with gratitude.
Yeah.
Please write another book and please incorporate your philosophy of life and your life lessons that you've learned up to this point, and you're still a young man, into that in relation to life and being a better human being and being a better person and being a better motorcyclist. Figure out a way of incorporating life lessons into motorcycle riding. That would be a really amazing read.
So I fumbled through 4 books. I'm going to call myself an author, but
Okay,
but that's like my weekly Q&As, live Q&As. Some people ask me, you know, not just motorcycle stuff, but you know, about life stuff or how was it like as a Marine, as a drill instructor. Somebody asked me, what did I learn from the Marines? And I was like, I could probably spend 3 hours talking about what I learned.
Right.
But I thought I was going to give a short answer, but then I started talking. And I was like, what did I learn? What lessons did I learn that I still use now? And it's like, well, all the discipline I learned to do all this stuff, to wake up, to make the videos, to consistently do this, and it's all from the discipline I learned, the structure that I never had that the military gave me.
So on that note, thank you for your time. I'm very grateful for you allowing me to film you this, and this is a very personal interview, but also just, yeah, it's huge. So thank you, and all I want to say is I hope that you continue doing what you're doing, positively affecting the lives of many people in the future. And I genuinely hope that that quest for you and that work that you put in brings you a level of happiness and eventually peace in your own life, and that you get a level of spiritual recognition, an awakening of some sort, an enlightenment, a moment of clarity whereby your role as a human being right now on this planet is extremely important and valuable. I'm going to give you a hug, dude, because I think you're awesome.
My man.
I appreciate everything that you do, and thank you for today's training.
Yeah,
It meant an enormous amount to me.
Today's been awesome.
It was a lot of fun.
All the riding, then all the interviews, and yeah, it's been what, like
We spent the whole day, like,
8.5 hours together. So
yeah, it was special.
It's been awesome.
So
it's been an awesome day. So this is what I like the best. I like doing one-on-ones. And I like talking about things that are not just bullshit. Honestly.
Right.